Hey, I'm Hunt, and this is Hunt on LSU, your channel for LSU Fighting Tiger football talk. Enjoy the video. We want you to leave a comment below, hit that like button, and subscribe right below the video. Enjoy.
I was out at practice again today and wanted to kind of give my thoughts, kind of empty the old notebook, as it were. I kind of got some attention yesterday for my takes on the defensive backs, and that's good. We're here to have people pay attention. And there are some dissenting opinions, some people that are terrified by what I had to say. I stand by what I've seen for a week and a half of practice to this point. I think that the wide receivers have gotten the better of the defensive backs far more often than I'd like to see it. But by all accounts, including some of my own yesterday, I said when they get to 11 on 11, things have been a little bit better. So we'll get to a little bit more of the corners, the safeties, the wide receivers, but I kind of have some talking points to hit in order of importance today. So let's just kind of roll through the old notebook, shall we? Today was a day they were in shells. They were not in full pads. And while there was some contact, it was not just walkthrough. There was some contact. It was a little bit of a lighter day in terms of the contact. I think it was more assignment-based. The defense was doing a lot of making sure they had their assignments. The offense was working a lot of the time on air, specifically in the passing game. It was a little lighter day in terms of physicality, so that's something to note. There were two players that did have to leave practice because they got a little bit dinged up. I don't believe either one of them to be massively serious, but Jacobian Guillory and Jelani Watkins both had to leave practice. Jacobian Guillory was involved in a running game drill. It was actually a pretty good rep for him. He got into the backfield, but something didn't feel right in his right knee. He came out, immediately went to the ground. They worked on his knee for a little bit, about 10 or 12 minutes. He got up and did a little bit of stretching, did a little bit of high knees, then did a little bit of a bicycle. He didn't go back in, but he certainly wasn't, unable to put any weight on it or left practice altogether or got carted off or nothing like that. He just had to stop going through the full contact portions of the drills. Jelani Watkins, I think, got stepped on in a 7-on-7. He was able to come out and do some high knees, do some light calisthenic work, but wasn't able to go back and participate fully in practice. So I don't believe either of those injuries are going to be a massive story, but we did see them when we were out there, so I felt like it was necessary to pass it on. All right, let's get back to defensive backs. You heard me yesterday, very likely, and I talked about how the defensive backs have not, in my opinion, been great in camp. And I said in 1-on-1s and 2-on-2s on 7-on-7s, they've been very poor. In 11-on-11, things have been better. That's to be expected based on the nature of those drills. Well, today, they came out of the gates and had a really good period. There was 2-on-2s down there in the red zone, and my chart says that the defense won the first 6 reps. In fact, Joe Sloan said during the reps, hey, we got to start winning some of these, speaking to the offense. So that's a really good sign that the defense had a really strong day today. Doesn't change what I said yesterday because I had seen what I had seen through a week and a half, but the defensive backs did stand up and make some plays today, which is a very, very encouraging thing. This may have been the most interesting thing that I watched today because I had not watched this drill previous to today's practice, and I think it's something that will pique your interest as well as the LSU fan interested in how things are shaking out. We watched the running backs work pass protection against defensive ends. And it was an interesting lineup because the running back was down right near the line of scrimmage, just behind the actual line of scrimmage, not back in the backfield, like in the shotgun looking to pass protect, actually up there close to the line of scrimmage, kind of pass protecting against a rushing edge rusher. And I thought Kaleb Jackson had 3 great reps in this pass protection portion of LSU's practice. Major Burns came on a pressure, and Kaleb Jackson stopped him. Xavier Adkins came on a pressure, and Kaleb Jackson stopped him. And Greg Penn came on a pressure, and Kaleb Jackson stopped him. And I noticed that all 3 times, Kaleb Jackson really reacted to the pass rush wins. One of the things that we love to talk about with young running backs is, okay, well, how do they work in pass protection? Because you look at the highlight tape from high school, and you see the breakaway speed, and you see the agility and the make you miss, and you see the kick return touchdowns, And you see the swing passes and the screen plays that result in 65-yard touchdowns. And if you turn on Kaleb Jackson's highlight tape from last year, you're going to see him trucking the guy on the left sideline against Mississippi State. You're going to see his explosive runs for touchdowns in the bowl game. You're going to see a kickoff return where he gets the left corner and gets up near midfield. And there's no doubting that Kaleb Jackson's big and strong and fast and can carry the football and be an explosive runner in the running game. But can he do everything that it takes to be a running back? And I don't know if he's a great pass protector. I know he had 3 great reps today, and he cared. Sometimes you could see a running back, they're not really interested in this drill. Where's the football? I don't want to sit here and pass block. Will Campbell can do that. Emory Jones can do that. Give me the ball. But today, Kaleb Jackson stepped up there and really did a nice job in pass protection. I thought Josh Williams was good in pass protection for the most part. And I thought John Emery had a couple of good reps as well. The defense had their fair share of wins. Whit Weeks had a great swim move to beat a walk-on running back. Saw a really good rep where West Weeks had a speed rush and got the edge. But to me, the story was Kaleb Jackson in that he did a really good job in pass protection. And the more of those boxes that he checks, I think the better for this LSU football team, because the ceiling for Kaleb Jackson is as high as anybody on that running back team, and it's probably higher. But the floor feels like it's lower for 2 reasons. 1, could be pass protection. 2, catching the ball out of the backfield. It's very clear when you watch the running backs catch the ball out of the backfield, which we did today on air. It was in a 1-on-0 situation, that Josh Williams and John Emery looked the most comfortable catch the ball out of the backfield. And Kaleb Jackson doesn't. You know how you hear the term soft hands? Infielders in baseball, wide receivers, tight ends, real soft hands, a basketball post player. Kaleb Jackson does not give me those vibes. It seems like he's got firm hands. And you saw him in the 1-on-0 routes. It's a thud when it hits his hands. And then we saw him in some 7-on-7, and on an angle route, he did catch the ball up against his shoulder pads. And you can see, like, he caught both. He didn't have any drops. He had a huge drop last year against Ole Miss. We know that. But he didn't have any drops today. But it just doesn't look as fluid as some of the guys that LSU's had out of the backfield. Now, look, Leonard Fournette didn't look like Jerry Rice out there catching the football. But they got it to him a few times, and he made some huge plays with it. So I'm not here to tell you that they can't throw Kaleb Jackson the ball. I'm just here to tell you that I'd probably rather throw it to John Emery. But we're trying to check these boxes for Kaleb Jackson as a running back so that he can stay on the field, so that he can get more carries, so that he can be more productive. And what I saw today was a running back that did a good job in pass protection and did what he was supposed to do in the passing game. Wasn't a work of art, trust me. I don't think they're going to put in any instructional videos. But he did do the job. And to me, that's big. I want Kaleb Jackson to be on the field more. I want the coaching staff to trust him more because I think his ability is better than the other guys, and I want to see him reach toward that potential. Last thing, as I kind of clear the notebook here from practice, we talked about the fact that it was more of a mental day, a little bit less on the physical side. Tank and Jelani got hurt, but were okay. DB's very much better in 2-on-2s. Kaleb Jackson, thoughts from running back. Those are the first 4. And the last one was looking at a little bit of the nickel set for LSU. And what we've seen in the nickel set is that you're going to see Jair Brown come in and play the nickel. Sage Ryan is out on one corner. Ashton Stamps is out on another. You've got Jordan Gilbert out there. You've got Jordan Allen out there. Major Burns playing the star. You get Jair Brown out there to play the nickel. You also get Greg Penn off the field. You move Harold Perkins and Whit Weeks on. And then they've got a pass rush package out of that nickel that's got Paris Shand playing on the interior, that's got Braden Swinson kind of playing a little bit on the interior, and then you'll see Deshaun Womack play at that spot on the outside. And I like that look for LSU. I like having more speed at linebacker, some pass rush ability, more pass rush ability on the interior, including kicking an end in Paris Shand down to tackle, And then having the ability to bring Deshaun Womack off of one side, maybe Braden Swinson off of one side and Harold Perkins off the other. It's a look that I think can create some issues for some less athletic offensive lines, because LSU is very athletic in that package. Got a lot of DBs on the field. You can bring them in different looks and show different looks in the coverage game. And then you can also bring a pass rush with some guys who have proven themselves to be pass rushers. We know what Harold Perkins is a pass rusher. We saw that. I think Braden Swinson in limited time last year was probably the best down lineman pass rusher. Now, Savion Jones will have his say, and he's going to play in these nickel sets at times. Braden Swinson will have his say. He's going to play in these nickel sets at times. It's not set in stone. They don't have one group that comes in there. There's been a little bit of in and out. But you've got some athleticism you can put on the front four, front six that could potentially cause some problems for offensive lines. I have thought that the defensive front has played a little bit better than the back end of the defense to this point in camp, although today told a little bit of a different story because it sounds like the DB's had a good day, which I'm thrilled to hear, by the way. But I like the look on that nickel set with some of the guys that they can put down there to help rush the passer. So that's a look at practice for today. I have some more notes. Kamorian Pimpton had a really nice day today. Caught a few balls that he high-pointed in the end zone, one in an 11-on-11 period, one in a 1-on-0 period that he just showed the athleticism that he has. We saw some punting today. It's still a little inconsistent. We saw the punt returners back there today. Did have our first muff that we've seen in about 2 weeks of practice. Aaron Anderson put one on the ground, but no one else has since we've been out there. To this point, Xavier Thomas looks healthy after missing a little bit of time late last week. So,
hey, thanks for watching Hunt on LSU. Before you get out of here, do us a couple of favors. Hit that like button, leave your comments below, and subscribe to the channel for all your Fighting Tiger football talk. See you next time.